I'm here with Lee. 5-1 to the Arsenal. What do you reckon, man?
Unbelievable. To be honest, a little bit nervous coming into the game, but it was
Nervous?
Really
Why?
yeah, well, it's just a league game and all that. It's always tough, but it was a comfortable win in the end. You know, like listen, not many teams come to Crystal Palace and do what we did to them today. I believe Spurs lost here. I don't know if they did, but you know, it's not for everybody, is it? Like, you know, but no, that performance was unbelievable, Dave, from start to finish. Cut a little dodgy defensive things, but all round, other than you have to say, like, to come away at Crystal Palace, who are in a little bit of form, and do unbeaten in 5. Thank you, Si, and get that result was fantastic.
Yeah, you know what was amazing about today's performance? Although we scored 5, we could easily have scored more, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. And Jesus could have had a double hat-trick.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Had the great... And then Martinelli nicks him off it. Like, but listen, it was a job done. I'll tell you what, his first 2 goals, fantastic finishes. Fantastic finish. The second one, unbelievable, like, you know. And there was a couple of them I thought might be offside, but when you look at it, all completely on. And, you know, I thought it was a comfortable performance. Of course, there's one downside of it, and that's Saka. Yeah,
so, do we know the status of the injury?
Well, it looked like an hamstring injury, didn't it? So he's going to be out for minimum 3 weeks, 4 or 5.
Man,
that's the downside of it all. But, you know, we were saying, getting everybody back. Calafiori was back in the side today. Rice, great goal as well. You know,
I thought he did really well when he came on Declan today.
Yeah. Do you know what? I just felt it was a little bit open in midfield. They were getting into our back 4 a little bit. On comes Declan Rice. That snuffed that out. And just a slight disappointment about Saka. But you know,
it's amazing that a 5-1 win, and we think we'll be hooping and hollering, which we are to a certain degree. But a few of the people I've spoken to since the game said, you know what, if we would have been a bit sharper, we could have got more.
Yeah, we could have got more, but we could have also conceded a few more, like, you know. Ray has made about 3 really class saves today, like the one from the Saliba mistake in the first half. And listen, this is the thing you've got. Crystal Palace today, they come out and played. They were open. They get beat 5-1. You know what I mean? So this all pats Crystal Palace on the back. That's not what football's about, is it? Like, you've got to... So the next team's going to think, well, I'm not going to open up against Arsenal, because that's what can happen. So you've got to find a way to break teams down as well, because credits to Crystal Palace, but they ain't got nothing for what they've done today, opened up, like, you know, and no one's going to give them a pat on the back tonight and go, I'll tell you what, you went toe-to-toe with Arsenal, look what happened. So, you know, you have to break these teams down, and today it was a little bit easier because they was more open.
And we took our chance, of course.
Yes.
Let's talk about him, Gabriel Jesus. Now, listen, before last week, when he got the hat-trick against Palace, a lot of people, I've got to include myself in that, were doubting whether this man could come back from what seemed to be an abyss. Now, he's got 5 goals in a week against Crystal Palace. The confidence looks back, the swagger looks back. What do you put that down to?
Confidence. It's just absolute confidence. I thought he'd done okay in the game before against Monaco, but he missed 2 chances or 3 chances that day, so everybody's going to criticise that. But once you bag a goal, look at him today. He wanted the ball all the time. There was an energy about him. You know, took his 2 goals really, really well. If he hadn't took his goals on the midweek, maybe those goals don't go in. But when things are going for you, that's what happens. And football and strikers, as good as they are, they rely a little bit on confidence. And you could see that. I thought he was brilliant again today, really sharp. And listen, those
the Jesus of old.
The Jesus of old. And those 2 chances that he took were the easiest one he had. The goalkeeper saved it. But that's football. That's football. So, listen, all in all, it's a nice little Christmas present before because we needed that. You know, what a week in football, it can be so different. Like, you know, last week we was on our knees after that poor performance from Everton. If someone would have said to me, do you know what, don't worry about it, Lee, we'll score 8 goals in our next 2 games, I'd have said, you know, no, I'm not having that. You know what I mean? Something wrong with you. You're drinking too much. But the reality is that is exactly what's happened. You know, so.
Do you think that in another way, though, it may have, like, the quest for a striker, do you think that might have quelled that a little bit?
Well, look, listen, I think we need another striker, you know, just to add to things and everything like that. But when you're scoring those sort of goals, people are going to, you know, look, I've seen Manchester City here with Haaland, you know what I mean, the best Premier League striker of all at this moment in time. They drew 2-2. We've come here and smashed in 5, and as you quite rightly said, it could have been 8 or 9. You couldn't say that about Manchester City. So it ain't all about just the striker. You've got to have the performances right. You've got to have the players in place today. And then that's what we had. We had like Odegaard dictating it from midfield. I thought Havertz working hard, got things going and all that like. But when it needs to be shored up, when the manager has to make a couple of decisions, he does it. I tell you, I thought we really played well today. Miles Skelly and I had a very good game. Very, very good game. I thought he was a little bit too safe against Everton, but today taking a few risks and something. Okay, we took a few risks today and got caught out a few times defensively. So maybe you're going to have to take a few risks. You know, Saliba will be thanking Raya today, but
I thought that was an interesting battle with him and Mateta because they're really going at it.
Absolute handful. I couldn't believe the size of him.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
He's a unit, man. He's a unit.
If I was playing against him, I'd say, walk past me, son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not tackling you, like, you know what I mean? But he was strong. He caused us problems.
Yeah, because what I notice he does, he kind of unsettles defenders because they're so wary of him.
And I think, that's right. I think today, so let's give him a little bit of credit for that. I think he unsettled Gabriel and Saliba, perhaps making them do things that they don't normally do. And so credit to him. Obviously, when you're 4-1 up, he comes off, like, you know, so we've done our job in the end.
That's it.
Job done in the end. But, you know, he did create things. And listen, I thought we also, got to just say before I go, good response after going 1-0 up, going 1-1, got pegged back. There's good response after that, went up the other end, goal. So I think today you've got to take all the positives from it. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and see you at Ipswich.
Well said. One thing I did want to ask you, though, is it back on, the title?
Never been on.
Well, yeah, like...
No, because to be fair, a lot of people had doubts, you know.
Well, like, at the end of the day, you know, look, I think what we've got to do is just take it game by game, see if we can get 4, 5, 6 games on the bounce. Look, what we also need is to have injury without players getting injured, and we've now got Saka injured. So we've got, just look, we've got Ipswich next. Let's get the result against Ipswich. Then we go to Brighton and get a positive result. Sorry, Brentford. Then we go to Brighton. We've got a difficult few games coming up. But if we get them results, you know, we're not out of it. But I think at this moment in time, I would say it's going to be very difficult to win it. But that's a start.
Okay, Lee. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.